The Houston Texans finally landed a franchise quarterback last year in Deshaun Watson. He's returning from injury, but so is J.J. Watt. A couple of questions. How good are the Houston Texans currently, and how good can they be in 2018? We'll have answers to both questions by the end of this video preview as we take a look at the upcoming season for the Houston Texans. Let's get things kicked off by taking a look at some of the key storylines heading into the season as we go into our 4-minute offense. Last season started off promising for the Houston Texans until they got hit with a rash of injuries, and not just a random injury here or there. The Texans were losing stars like rookie phenom Deshaun Watson, superstar defenders like J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless, as well as rookie running back Deonta Foreman, who's starting to find his ground as a rookie tailback. Other key players missed time here and there during the season as well. Well, now that the entire cast of characters are healthy as training camp is underway, and the hope is that it stays that way throughout the 2018 season so that way they can reach their ultimate potential. The Houston Texans had a lot of issues along the offensive line last year, and it was one of the ongoing problems on offense for a few years now. This offseason, they got offensive and went out to improve that area significantly. In free agency, the Texans signed 3 players: Zach Fulton of the Kansas City Chiefs, Senio Calamete of the New Orleans Saints, and Sean Henderson of the Buffalo Bills. All players are penciled in as starters. And in the 3rd round of the NFL draft, they selected Martinez Rankin out of Mississippi State, who can play either tackle spot. Both Calamete and Fulton are coming off of strong 2017 seasons, and Henderson is on a 1-year deal, so we should see the best of him this year. If this unit improves, it could dramatically improve the Texans' offense, bringing some much-needed balance to that side of the ball, which puts a lot of the focus on the running back position with Lamar Miller and company. The Texans did not draft a tailback in this year's draft, which tells you that they like the personnel that's currently on the roster, and it's time for that personnel to show itself as consistent and become productive as a result. Miller has good all-around game. Foreman is still trying to make his way back from an injury last season, so that does open up opportunities for guys like Alfred Blue, Tyler Irvin, and Tromaine Pope. The Texans are banking on big things from this unit this upcoming season. Now, last year, the Texans struggled to take the ball away in the secondary, and talk about rectifying the problem. Houston was able to sign Tyrann Mathieu in free agency, known as the Honey Badger for his fearless attitude and his ability to make plays regardless of the situation. One thing that he is also good at is taking the ball away. His ability as a safety and move piece should definitely help in the Texans being much better at creating turnovers, especially on the back end. Mathieu played in all 16 games last year and looks to get back to his all-pro performing ways of 2015. Now, last season proved that he's got back his health, and he should be a big-time asset to this Texans defense. A reason for optimism for the Houston Texans is second-year quarterback Deshaun Watson. The fact that he fell that far in the 2017 draft is laughable in its own right, but the rest of the league's loss is the Texans' gain, and the former Clemson Tiger was definitely on pace for Rookie of the Year honors and probably MVP honors with his brief stint last season as a Texans starter. I think he's only going to get even better in year 2. Another reason would be the Texans' receiving core. I believe the Texans have 3 perfect fits for the position. DeAndre Hopkins is your quintessential X receiver, your go-to guy that's a bona fide #1 option. Will Fuller is your deep ball specialist with the speed to run away from any coverage that he faces, and was on a tear last year in that role and developed a great chemistry with Deshaun Watson. And rookie Kiki Cutie out of Texas Tech is your ideal slot receiver that's able to consistently find space and create space with his explosiveness and shiftiness. And if Braxton Miller can find his sea legs as a pro wide receiver, this core could really be special. Bill O'Brien is one hell of a coach. The fact that he was able to make chicken salad out of you-know-what for so long with this offense and get the Texans to the playoffs 2 out of the 4 years he's been the guy, with last year being the only losing season in Houston, speaks volumes to the job that he and his staff has done as he enters his 5th year at the helm. And as long as J.J. Watt is healthy, he's arguably the best defender in the NFL. A healthy J.J. Watt is, at worst, a 15.5 sack a year guy, which is really remarkable when you think about it. And the linebacking core of the Texans is easily the best in the division. You can also make a case for the best in the NFL. The Texans have 4 guys that can run and legit impact the game in Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless, Benardrick McKinney, and Zach Cunningham. This group is a group that affects the game on both ends of defense and reminds me a lot of the old Dome Patrol of the New Orleans Saints of the late 80s and the early 90s. A cause for concern would be the running game. We spoke about this earlier in the video, but this is an area where the Texans offense has to get better if they want to be serious contenders in the AFC. Can the personnel in place get the job done is what we'll be watching for this upcoming season. And secondary communication is another area where they have to get better. Last year, there were times where the Texans looked lost on the back end. The hope is that now with Tyrann Mathieu, along with adding Aaron Colvin and rookie Justin Reed, combined with Kareem Jackson, Andre Hall, and Jonathan Joseph, can give the Texans what they need in the secondary. I also have a slight concern about the tight end position, not from a personnel perspective, but how will it fit within the offense? Going to CJ Fedorowicz, and last year, Watson did develop a chemistry with Ryan Griffin. How much of that chemistry can grow and how involved with the tight ends, or will the tight ends be in its offense, will be something to keep an eye on. Now here are some quick takes as the Texans go through training camp. Look for offensive tackle Julian Davenport and linebacker Benardrick McKinney to become breakout players this upcoming year. Davenport got a lot of work last year as a blocking tight end and swing tackle. This year he steps in as a starter on the left side and should showcase the skills that made him a 4th-round pick coming out of Bucknell. McKinney was good last season, so much so that he earned a contract extension. I think he'll become a household name by season's end. Some training camp surprises will be Kyle Fuller and Tristan Deku. Fuller could even push for a starting job as he played really well last year in spot duty for Houston. Deku could also factor in the mix as well as a versatile matchup defender in the secondary, having the ability to play corner or safety. Rookie standouts this year are Kiki Coutee and Justin Reed. Coutee can be described as instant offense as he was one of the best slot receivers in the NFL draft. He should also be an impact player early on offense and in the special teams department. And I love the football instincts and ball skills of Justin Reed out of Stanford. That alone will get him on the field, and what will keep him there is his ability to match up against both receivers and tight ends really well. And from a fantasy football perspective, Deshaun Watson is your main go-to guy target here. He was on pace to put up ridiculous passing numbers last season, and I don't see that changing one bit this year, in addition to what he can give you on the ground. The road to the Super Bowl for the Texans goes as follows. Number one is pretty obvious. If all of their stars stay healthy, this team will be extremely hard to beat. And it's not just that they have starters and good players starting. They have arguably the best at their position type players as their stars. The special teams also have to become special, especially from a return perspective. This is where they had some issues last year, and if they get better there, it puts their offense in much better starting situations. And finally, the running game has to become an asset, and if they can provide good balance to the passing game or a great complement, this team can have the number one offense in the league. And if you combine that with potentially the number one defense, how could you not see this team ending up in Atlanta in February as a result? I have the Texans finishing first in the AFC South. All things and health considered, this is the most complete team in the division with the best quarterback in the division. And I know many have said this multiple times before, that this year is the Texans' year. Well, 2018 may be the year that those words could actually come true. So that's it for our 2018 NFL season team preview. Be sure to follow me on all of our social media accounts. Also check out and subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, and to find other NFL team previews for our 2018 NFL season kickoff, visit the YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and click that subscribe button.